Hi and hello friends. Alpha Bytes is a lovely initiative of District Governor Sandeep Agarwala for the cause of bringing Rotarians together now and forever. Today, we interview numerous presidents through Alpha Bytes for the entire community of District 3141. And to start with, I begin with one of the most lovely presidents in Praful Yerwankar. Now I start with an introduction of Praful. Praful is the president of the Rotary Club of Mumbai Elite. He runs a business by the name of UNH Management Services Private Limited, a company in the space of providing staffing services. He is the first generation entrepreneur and has 14,000 people working in the company under you. Wow! His wife Deepa heads global talent acquisition for an agro trading company. He has two daughters, Sia and Ruhi. Both of them study in Podar International School. Praful is very fond of traveling and reading books. He has been to Leh and Ladakh twice and loves traveling to that place. Being with nature is the name and the game of Praful. So, okay, my first question to you, Praful, today would be: should we invite politicians and religious leaders to Rotary meetings and conferences? Your take.
Mickey, my take on this is that I think although most of these activities are forbidden in Rotary, however, both the politicians and religious leaders come with a diverse mindset. They have a different connect with people at the ground level, and most of these people are also very good orators, very good speakers. So I think it would be a very good idea to invite them. There would be a lot of learning that we will get out of them. The only thing is probably we'll have to tell them that as a code of conduct or a way in Rotary is that we do not speak religion, we do not speak politics. I think if we just give them a forewarning, I'm sure politicians wouldn't listen. But if we still try, then I think that would be a different way of looking at Rotary,
So
and it
that
will
means
give you a
your
lot.
view is that you need politicians to come and speak
Yes,
their language,
yes,
which is
yes,
not detrimental to the interest of
yes,
Rotary,
yes,
but which
yes.
will give encouragement to
Right,
the.
right,
I
right.
think you have
Yeah,
said it perfectly, and
right.
that's a very nice thought which you're relating to the cause and to the upliftment of Rotary.
Right.
Okay, my second question to you, Praful, today would be: what has been your most memorable? What has been your most memorable event as a Rotarian? What do you think that would be?
Mickey, I'm sure you may not be aware. So, Rotary is new to me. It's only
How
been
long have you been in
2 years.
Rotary? Oh, 2 years.
Yeah,
You have done a lot, 2 years,
yeah.
Praful.
And so when presidentship happened, I was like, yeah, 200 करोड़ की कंपनी चला रहा हूँ. जब धंधा चालू किया था, I did not know anything,
Yeah.
and I built a business which is 200 crores.
Yes.
Presidentship of Rotary is like
Peanuts.
peanuts.
But you
Okay.
thought, then you understood it's a hard rock to
Yeah,
crack.
yeah.
Okay.
And then when I actually got into it and started realizing it was a different ball game altogether. Different kind of people, people senior to you, people who have been presidents earlier, past presidents, handling them, people who aspire something else, handling them. When you want to do a project in your organization, you did not want it to take any approvals. You were the person who was giving approvals. So while doing all of that, I think the most memorable things were two events, very small events. We wanted to do a speaker meeting in a dialysis center in Ghatkopar.
Okay.
For some reason, the speaker meeting got cancelled because we did not have enough people attending that. So that was another experience in itself for
That
me.
I think is a lacuna in most of the clubs,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
the
yeah,
attendance
yeah,
is a
yeah,
bit
yeah.
low.
So I said, why not just visit the club, visit the center as it is. So me, along with a colleague of mine from office and couple of people, our secretary and her husband. So we four of us decided to, go and visit. When I actually visited the center, it was such an amazing experience. The machines have been donated by Rotary, and young kids, who are on dialysis, who have to come there very often. When they were moving out, they were so chilled as if they've just come out of a movie. Oh, that's the kind of expression that they had on their face, and which was such an amazing experience in itself. How can somebody be so cool about something which is so dramatic? It can have such a traumatic
Yes,
experience
it could.
on
It
on
could.
itself.
It could.
So that was an experience for me, that this is what we can contribute to the society, and this is what Rotary does. The second memorable thing for me, we went to Murbad. So there's a school there. You know how schools are in villages, right?
Yes, that's it.
So that's the only school which is from class 8 to class 10, in almost 10 to 15 kilometers radius. So it was in such a dilapidated position
Okay,
that there were washrooms, but you cannot visit them.
that's it. They were very dirty.
There was drinking water facility,
You
but I'm
couldn't
sure
drink.
you cannot drink from there.
Ah,
There were classrooms, the ceiling was leaking. Okay, so all these things,
so
and I
what did
said,
you do next after that?
yeah. So we planning to redevelop that entire school.
Did you start?
Yes, we already approached couple of CSR
So what
projects.
is the project cost?
So that's about 17 lakhs, 17 lakh
Do you
70,000.
think it's okay? 17
Yeah,
lakhs?
yeah, that should. It's a smallish school, but it can
Okay.
have a pretty big impact.
But this, I think, Praful, you must do, because once this entire video is transmitted
Right,
to all the Rotary clubs and
right,
all the Rotarians,
right.
the only thing they will learn
Yeah,
is to help those who need the help
correct,
the most.
correct. Vicky, the other thing that I want to just add is, when we visited there, a couple of people already knew some senior Rotarians.
Okay.
Okay. And the moment they got to know that we from Rotary and this is what, so their expectations from us were very high.
Hi,
कि यार चलो ये लोग अभी आए हैं तो ये तो करेंगे ही काम.
Karing,
Okay. So that also gives you a sense of responsibility, that it is
yes.
not just about you doing something for your club or for yourself because you are president of the club, but it is actually living up to the expectations that people have from Rotary. Okay, so these were the two memorable events that happened
Okay,
in a
out of
short
these two,
span.
which you think is a better memorable event that you had?
I think it's very difficult to choose because both
So
of them.
both, that means you want to say that both are same side of coin?
Yeah, kind of.
You
Yes,
can't
yes.
eliminate
Yeah,
any
yeah,
of the
yeah,
sides?
yeah.
So very nice. Okay, that second question was very good. Your answer was fantastic. And the third question to you, Praful, today is, what difference has Rotary made to your professional and personal life?
So this is another very interesting question. Glad you asked me.
Ah,
As I mentioned, I was into employment from 2003 to 2012, and community service has always been part of our family. My father has been part of the unions, and he's been into social causes
so
since a pretty
community
long.
service becomes your passion.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct?
So when I joined Rotary, तो ये terms जो है fellowship and club meetings, all of that were alien to me. मुझे ये
Okay.
पता था कि कुछ ना कुछ यहाँ के इसके through community के लिए कर सकते हैं. So my daughter Sia, who's 10-year-old, so we do not celebrate her birthdays. On every birthday, we go and donate something to a
That's
ashram.
a super way
Yeah,
of
yeah.
felicitating her
Because
birthday.
हमारे मेरी फैमिली में था नहीं यार तू कंजूस है, you don't spend money. I said I spend money, but वो बच्चे को नहीं समझ में आता है कि we spending it for her.
Ah,
Right.
okay.
We spend it for ourselves because we want to have fun on their birthdays.
Correct.
That's my take, of course.
No, but it's a very good thought
Yeah.
that you're celebrating your the daughter's birthday by giving something to those who cannot celebrate their
Right,
birthday.
right. So, and the other, in a professional way, it helped me connect with people. When we started in 2012, of course, the business went through a lot of ups and downs. In 2017, we almost went bankrupt. We did not have even money to pay for our office. And I was operating out of a small hospital which belonged to my friend. His ICO was in making, and he said कि तुमको तुझे use करना है तो ये इतना use कर ले. And from there to now scale up again, it's been an amazing journey. And now that we've reached around 200 CR in top line, there was again a shortage of cash. Okay, so whenever you want to now scale up, the vision was to scale up to about 1,000 crore by 2025. So when you're going at that speed, there's always shortage of money.
Yeah, it's
And
always
then
there.
Prashant Gupta, who was part of our club earlier, so we've been in touch, and we were talking one day. I said, "कि यार क्या कर रहे हैं?" I'm like, "This is what I want to do and want to raise money." And then I was in Bangalore for a client meeting, and he called. He said, "You want the money?" I'm like, yes. When? Like, yesterday.
Yeah, that's a nice way of saying.
Yeah. So he said we have somebody who's interested in this space. Why don't we have a online meeting? And the online meeting happened. They liked the business. They liked what we were doing, and we have a term sheet now. The due diligence is happening positively. If everything goes through, we should have money by January end.
Oh, all the best, Praful. All the best. You're doing so much for Rotary.
Yeah.
I think it's commendable.
Thank you.
And my final question to you coming is strengthening old projects or introducing new projects. What would you prefer? And what would you like to do?
So my take on this, Mickey, is that uh, you always need to have when we have a cricket team, you need to have a combination of youth and experience. Similarly, I think old projects are also relevant. New projects are also very important. But it is also important to find out which old projects are relevant to the current time.
Correct.
Okay, and then analyze, do an assessment, and find out what works in the current scenario, and then reassess and redo. Similarly, identify which new projects could be useful in the current scenario. Like in COVID, we did not have nobody could actually go out of the house, right?
Correct.
So if you did something which required you to go out of the house too much, then it may not have worked.
Yeah.
But if you could engage somebody online, because there were a lot of people who wanted to talk, suddenly you had nobody to speak to. You were confined to a small room.
Yeah,
You were probably slogging 10 12 hours a day, which otherwise you would wind up बीच में आप चाय पीने जाते थे office में. You would probably go out for a smoke break, something like that. But when in COVID, you did not have any of these luxuries, right? So if you could actually be, वो pen friend होता था पहले. So if you could actually be something like that, I think that was a service to the society during
yes, of
those
course,
days.
of course.
So I think we have to reassess and find out, what works for today, and then find out. So I think there is nothing called old and new. It is what is relevant today needs to be implemented.
So the old is even new and the new is even new.
Yeah.
The advantage is that we must do projects
Right.
for the betterment of the community, for the
Right.
betterment of the society.
Right.
Each one is happy.
Yes.
This is what you want to convey.
Yes.
Thank you, Praful. It was very nice interviewing you and talking to you.
Thank
God bless you.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. Lovely interview of President Praful. His most memorable moments were fantastic, going to a dialysis center, seeing the children, and of course, and the difference which Rotary had made to his professional life. He started young and he made a company of 200 crores. Fantastic, Praful. I think you are going to be a role model for people to follow. His mantra, which I see, is a thankful heart is the parent of all virtues. Thank you, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
It was
Thank
a
you so
pleasure being with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We serve to change lives. We serve to change lives. A change for the better. We are Rotary.